what is this EK diagram explains?
Crystal moment.
Okay, will you explain a little elaborately?
The total energy required, if we perceive any energy to that electrons, what is the energy required for to jump it? Like in semiconductors, it will have one energy gap band, and some insulators it will be more. So that is what we were discussing, sir.
Okay, but still I didn't get the expected answer. Just have a look of the two diagrams, what I have shared, direct as well as the indirect semiconducting material. Okay, at least with the help of this diagram, what the information is possible to gain? What you got to know that from these two diagrams? Yeah, please.
In direct semiconductor, electron recombination process, it means electron is come back to the original place. In
Okay.
that time, electron loses the energy in the form of light.
Okay.
Yeah, in indirect semiconductor, electron it travels the defective state, so it is attract the phonon.
Okay, interact with the phonon.
Then it loses the energy in the form of heat. So
okay.
There is no light.
There is no light. Yeah. In such a way that we are going to classify the direct as well as the indirect semiconductor. I will brief once again here. Correct. So what are the energy bands we was classified as like valence band, conduction band, as well as the energy gap, forbidden band. Okay. Based on this diagram, one thing we got to know that initially the valence band consisting of an fully electrons. The valence band fully filled with the electron, and initially the conduction band was zero. Conduction band was empty. It is completely, it will be the empty at 0 degree Kelvin in the semiconductor. When you are changing the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to some degree Celsius, or let us take it will be 300 degree Kelvin, 300 degree Kelvin, it will be equal to 25 degree Celsius. When you are changing the temperature, few electron, it will get the additional energy. Those electron, it will get the additional energy in the valence band. It will start moving towards valence band to conduction band. Valence band to conduction band. Those electrons only we are called as an free electron. That electron, it will be helpful for us to conduction of an current. So at the same time, what are the electron? It will be moving from valence band to conduction band. Those electron is called as an free electron as well as conduction electron. Free electron as well as the conduction electron. Automatically the environmental temperature, it will be it will be fluctuating. Correct. So at 1 p.m. the temperature, it will be something like 26 degree, 27 degree, something like that. After 12 hours in the midnight, so probably the temperature level, it will be reduced, it less than 20 degrees Celsius, somewhere around 18 degree, 15 degree, something like that. Or let us take, it will be reduced, go back to once again the 0 degree, 1 degree, something like that. Due to the temperature fluctuations surrounded by that particular material, even what the electron, it will be shifting from valence band to conduction band, it will be start moving towards its original state. To its original state means to the valence band only. While moving to the valence band from the conduction band, few electrons, it will directly move. Directly move means it will be movement only the vertical portions. It will be move only in the vertical direction. There is no movement in the horizontal direction. The horizontal direction we have represented with the K symbol. K stand for? K stand for?
Momentum.
Momentum of an electron. Momentum of an electron or wave vector. Okay. So in the direct semiconductor, just have a look of this. This is the lower level of the conduction band, and this is the top level of the valence band. While moving the electron from lower level of the conduction band to upper level of the valence band, it will be moving vertically. There is no movement in the x direction. There is no movement in the x means it is a horizontal direction. So hence K will be equal to 0. Hence K will be equal to 0. The electron movement from the lower end of the conduction to upper end of the valence means what? This phenomenon or this process only we are called as an electron recombination. Electron recombination. I mean initially when you are going to change the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin, the electron it will be moving from this particular place to conduction band. I mean where exactly the electron it will be coming out, there one vacancy it will be created. One vacancy will be created. Once the temperature it will be go down, or once it will be become 0, the once again the same vacancy filled by the same electron, or sometimes it will be a different electron, correct? So the same electron it will be filling the same vacancy without the movement of an K, when K will be equal to 0. In such situation, how much energy gained by that particular electron for moving from valence band to conduction band? Let us take, it is a silicon, right? Correct. So let us take, it will be the silicon or germanium semiconducting material. But the silicon is not come under the direct. It will be come under the indirect semiconductor. For the direct semiconductor, gallium arsenide. Gallium arsenide. Okay, that is also come under the semiconducting material only, but it is come under the direct semiconductor, gallium arsenide. Correct. So in that gallium arsenide, the energy gap at 0 degree Kelvin, it will be somewhere around 1.43 electron volt. 1.43 electron volt. In the silicon, the energy gap, it will be equal to 1.1 to 1.2. 1.2 at 0 degree Kelvin, at 25 degrees Celsius, the Eg, it will be equal to 1.1 electron volt. The same way for the germanium, at 0 degree Kelvin, 0.74 electron volt is the energy gap. At room degree Celsius, at room temperature, the energy gap in the germanium, it will be equal to somewhere around 0.64 electron volt. 0.64 electron volt. Anyway, in the direct semiconductor, we have taken the gallium arsenide. Gallium arsenide energy gap, it will be equal to 1.43 electron volt. For jumping, for making that this electron, what the electron it will be present in the valence band to the conduction band. Now how much energy we need to provide in terms of an temperature changing? In terms of an temperature changing, just have a look here. I have taken the top layer of the valency and just I wanted to shift this electron to the lower bottom or the bottom level of the conduction. I need not to shift this electron to here or the toppest layer of the conduction, and just for crossing the energy gap. How much energy I needed to provide it to that electron in terms of an temperature changing? In the gallium arsenide, the energy gap it will be equal to 1.43 electron volt. Minimum how much energy we need to provide? Hello? Anyone? In the gallium arsenide, for shifting the electron from the top layer of the valence band to bottom layer of the conduction band, how much energy I needed to provide to that particular electron in terms of temperature changing? Anyone? Jayant? Jayant V? Jayant V, are you there? Diksha?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jayant. Yeah, tell me, Jayant. How much energy we need to provide to that electron for crossing valence band to conduction band? Especially in the gallium arsenide. The energy gap in the gallium arsenide, it will be equal to 1.43 electron volt. How much energy we need to provide?
Sir, 1.4.
Exactly, at least 1.43 electron volt we needed to provide for crossing that electron from valence band to conduction. If you provide more than that, no problem. It will gain that energy, and instead of shifting to this particular position, somewhere around it will be shifting here. If you provide more than that, it will be shifting here.
We
It will
shift
be
more
provide more
above.
than, yeah, more above, because of the electron energy. If you moving towards upward direction, it will be increases, right? The electron energy, it will be increases. How much energy you can give, that much shifting it will be happen. At the same time, the maximum acceptable energy of the electron due to thermal or due to temperature, whatever, or due to the additional and all, the maximum is 2.5 electron volt to 3 electron volt. 2.5 electron volt to 3 electron volt. Only that much energy it will be gaining, and it will be start transition from one band to another band. If you provide more than that, that particular device it will be burnt off, or the physical appearance of that devices it will be going to change. It is clear? Okay. So minimum that much energy we needed to provide. Okay, let it be. Now in the gallium arsenide, 1.43 electron volt, that electron it will be consuming for shifting from this energy level to this energy level. Okay. Now once again, that electron is moving, go back to its original state. It's moving, go back to its original state, while moving from the lower band of the conduction to upper band of the valency. How much energy it will be gaining for transition from valency to conduction, that much energy once again it will be give back. Once again, that much energy it will be give back to us in terms of light. In terms of light, that only we have represented here. Eg it will be equal to h times of mu. Here h stand for Planck's constant, mu stand for frequency. Okay, so these things it will be happen in the direct semiconductor. In the direct semiconductor, one thing you keep in your mind, k stand for wave vector or momentum of an electron, it will be equal to 0. It will be equal to 0. Now coming to the indirect semiconductor. So here also the same process. Initially the valence band completely filled, conduction band completely empty. When you are going to change the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin, few electron it will be shifting from valence band to conduction band. Okay, after temperature once again is goes on decreases, what are the electron it will be shifting from valence band to conduction band? The same electron now it wants to shift it to its original state. Shifted to its original state means it will be start moving towards the valence band only. But in the indirect semiconductor, this particular electron it not straight away or it not move vertically towards the valence band. Just have a look at this diagram carefully. This electron horizontally it will be moving somewhere else within the band itself, within the energy band itself. Correct? So within the band it will be moving somewhere else, then finally it will move to the valence band. Then finally it will move to the valence band. Just check it out, why it will be happen? Due to the vibration of the lattice. When you are changing the temperature, the lattice, the crystalline lattice, the silicon or it may be a germanium or whatever it may be, it will be start vibrating. Okay, so that generally we can call it as an scattering effect. Generally we can call it as an scattering effect. Okay, even that topic is also there in the coming topics. In the same module itself we will discuss very detailedly how the electron movement it will be in the scattering effect and all. That thing we will discuss later on. Okay, so now this electron instead of moving directly to the valence, it will be first initially it will be moved to some defect state. It will be moved to the some defect state. In that defect state, that particular electron it will be start interact with the phonon. It will be start interacting with the phonon. Start interacting with the phonon means, I mean, due to that lattice vibration. Due to that lattice vibration or due to that collision, it will start losing its energy. It will be start losing its energy, but losing of here also in the direct also the electron it will be losing its energy, but in terms of light. But unfortunately in the indirect semiconductor, this electron it will be losing its energy in terms of heat. Okay, and finally it will be reached to the valence band. But in this case, in the indirect semiconductor, K is not equal to 0. It will be something else. Because of the electron, it will be moving. horizontally, it will be moving horizontally, it will be changing its position, k positions. Okay, so hence k is non-zero, but in the direct k will be equal to 0. In the indirect, the electron, it will be, I mean, it will be radiating its energy in terms of heat. So here in the direct, the electron, it will be radiating its energy in terms of light. Okay, so this is the measure or the difference between the direct as well as the indirect semiconductor. Okay, so now I will give some examples of direct as well as the indirect semiconductor. Actually, in your GATE examination, they will ask you questions like this based on the direct and indirect semiconductor. Okay, the questions will be like this: which semiconductor belongs to which band? Which semiconductor belongs to which band? Okay, so few elements will be there, correct? So that those element is the mixture of the direct as well as the indirect. In that you needed to distinguish, you needed to make a separate of direct semiconducting element as well as the indirect semiconducting element. This is the GATE questions. Okay, so in the direct semiconductor, they have, just have a look. I will read out some of the element. Those element come under the direct semiconducting material. Okay, gallium arsenide, listen carefully, gallium arsenide, gallium nitrate, gallium antimonate, gallium arsenide, gallium nitrate, gallium antimonate, and indium phosphate, indium arsenic, and indium antimonate. Okay, this all the elements, it will be come under the direct semiconducting materials. Okay, and I will read out some of the elements in the indirect semiconducting material: silicon, germanium, silicon carbide, silicon, germanium, silicon carbide, okay, and gallium phosphate, aluminum substrate, correct? So this all come under the indirect semiconducting material. Okay, and once again I will read out the energy gap of those element. Once again, just check it out, or if you have a pen and paper with you, please make a note of that. For gallium arsenide, energy gap, it will be equal to 1.43 electron volt. 1.43 electron volt. For gallium nitrate, 3.4 electron volt. Okay, and gallium antimonate, 0.78 volt. For indium phosphate, 1.35 electron volt. Indium arsenic, 0.36 electron volt. Indium antimonate, 0.18 electron volt. Okay, this all the things, it will be come under the direct semiconductor. For indirect semiconductor, for silicon, it will be 1.118 electron volt. In some of the textbook, they have round off to 1.2 electron volt at 0 degree Kelvin. This all the values I am readouting at 0 degree Kelvin. Okay, and for germanium, it will be 0.74 electron volt. Silicon carbide, 2.86 electron volt. 2.86 electron volt. At least you have to write a few example for direct semiconductor as well as the indirect semiconductor. It is clear. I have given few example. I have given in the notes. Once you go through that, and anyone, will you tell me the application of direct semiconductor as well as the application of indirect semiconductor? At least one application. Will you able to tell?
Direct semiconductor is used to make LED lights,
Yes, light and
bulb,
LED
and
and laser. LED and laser. Okay. Okay.
okay.
So I
Indirect
think you people,
semiconductor.
yeah, you people was studied a one topic in the basic electronics, the directly LED, light emitting diode. Okay. When you are going to use the different semiconducting material, different type of semiconducting material for gallium arsenide, gallium nitrate, gallium antimonate, gallium phosphate, something and all, how the color it will be changing and which semiconducting material it will be emit which colored light and what is the voltage level. This all the things we was studied. I hope you people are remember. Okay, the same concept here only. The direct semiconductor, it is used for making the LED as well as the laser. LED means maybe different colors. different voltage levels also. The different color and different voltage level, it will be depends on which type of an semiconducting material you are going to use for fabrication of these two devices. Okay, so the next, indirect semiconductor, it is used for mainly the fabrication of PN junction diode and transistor. What are the applications of diode and what are the application of transistor? This all the things we was already discussed in the basic electronics. Anyway, we are going to discuss once again in the second module of the ED and third module of the ED itself, electronic device itself. There we will discuss once again some of the theorems and detailed operation of the PN as well as the transistor and what are the applications of those two active element. This everything we will discuss in the second module as well as the third module. But at this particular stage, you should aware direct LED and laser, indirect diode and transistor. These two are the applications of the direct as well as the indirect semiconductor. Normally in your main examination, direct and indirect semiconductor, this question they will ask for 7 to 8 marks. 7 to 8 marks. For 7 to 8 marks, your scheme will be like this. Your scheme of evaluation will be like this. Diagram as usual, there is no doubt in that, it will be carry 2 marks. The diagram, it will be carry 2 marks. And the second, the remaining 4 marks, it will be for the detailed explanation. In that detailed explanation, you have to speak the definition of an electron recombination and energy conservative law. Energy conservative law. The first one is the electron recombination. The second one is the energy conservative law. These two things you needed to discuss very detailedly. Okay, along with the explanation of direct as well as the indirect. Then finally you move to the application of that and examples of the direct and indirect semiconductor. For our example, 1 marks. For application, once again 1 marks. Detailed explanation 4 marks and diagram 2 marks. Generally they will ask this question in your main examination for 7 to 8 marks. 7 to 8 marks. If you gone through the recently recent exams, yesterday, this week only happened ED backlog examination. Okay, even that question paper also I already posted in the Google Classroom. Once you go through that, this question they are asking for 10 marks. The same question, the direct and indirect semiconductor, the same question they are asking for 10 marks. For 10 marks, obviously you have to write diagram, detailed explanation, application, examples. Application, examples. Examples, not only simply write gallium arsenide, gallium nitrate, gallium antimonide, something like that. You have to write their energy levels also. Energy gap levels also. At 0 degree Kelvin, what is the value? At room temperature, what are those values? Correct? At least this kind of differences you have to represent in your answer script. Then only you will get 10 out of 10 out for direct as well as the indirect semiconductor topic. Okay, so this is all about direct and indirect semiconductor. Then we will move to the next topic in your ED subject, electrons and holes. Electrons and holes. I think I need not to provide you much information about electron and holes, but what are the information you people already know? Using that, behind that, what are the things I needed to speak? That only that part I will do now. Okay, so anyway, first, anyone will you tell me what is electron and what is hole? This is my first question. My second question is how the electron and hole pair it will be generated in the semiconductor. Anyone?
Because of pentavalent and trivalent dopants.
Yes, with the help of an pentavalent impurity and a trivalent impurity, you can generate the number of holes as well as the number of electron. Correct? I am correct? So
Yes, sir.
that type of an semiconducting material you are called as an N-type semiconducting material and P-type semiconducting material. Correct? So I am not entering to that N-type and P-type is come under the extrinsic semiconducting material. But still, I am not entering to the level of, or I am not entering to the discussion of intrinsic and extrinsic. I mean, in the coming slide or in the coming topic is your intrinsic and extrinsic. There we will discuss how we are going to construct the N-type semiconducting material and how we are going to fabricate the P-type semiconducting material and what is the major difference between the intrinsic and extrinsic. Correct? So that thing we will discuss later on. Okay. So here let us take, it is a pure intrinsic semiconducting material. It is a pure intrinsic semiconducting material. Intrinsic semiconducting material means what? Purest form of the silicon, only silicon. We didn't added any impurity to that. Still we didn't added any impurity to that. Okay. Without the concept of an doping, will you explain what is electron and hole? Electron and hole, commonly you people are known, electron is the negatively charged carrier and hole is the positively charged carrier. The electron value, it will be 1.9 into 10 to the power of minus 21 coulomb, something you people are already aware. Correct? I need not to speak much about those things and all, but still anyway, it's our duty to recollect once again those definitions also. Correct? So will you explain what is electron and hole without using the concept of doping?
Electrons are normal in the structure. When additional energy is passed, the electron will be jumped, and in that place holes will be formed. That's also.
Exactly. That's all. It's a very simple topic. Already we was discussed in the few topics only. Already we was discussed the concept of electron and hole. Okay. So let us take a one semiconducting material. It may be any semiconducting material. It may be a direct or it may be a indirect semiconducting material. Still we not entering to the extrinsic part. We have taken only the intrinsic part. Intrinsic means purest form. It may be a direct or it may be a indirect, whatever. Correct? So initially semiconductor means what? There is a energy gap in between the conduction band to valence band. Okay, that energy gap, it will be depends upon which type of an semiconductor you have chosen. Out of 107, what are the elements are there in your periodic table? Out of 107, few semiconducting elements are there. Out of those, I mean, what are the elements you are going to choose? Based on that energy gap, it will be decided. Now only I only read out. For gallium arsenide, energy gap will be 1.3. For silicon, energy gap will be 1.2. For germanium, energy gap will be 0.73 electron volt, something like that. Okay. One thing we got to know that energy gap never zero. It never goes zero in the semiconductor. Only this information we collected. Correct? So when we are start studying about with respect to the semiconductor. At the same time, the definition itself tells us semiconductor when 0 degree Kelvin, when you are maintaining the room, when we are maintaining the room temperature at 0 degree Kelvin, initially valence band, it will be completely filled. Valence band is completely filled. Conduction band is completely zero. It will be fully empty. Correct? So when you are providing the required energy to the valence band electrons, required energy level to the valence band electron. Here I am not going to too specific, because of when I am going to provide 1 electron volt, 2 electron volt, 3 electron volt, I am not using any numerical value in my definition. Generally I am speaking, when you are going to provide the required amount of an energy to the valence band electron, because of that energy level, it will be vary based on which type of an semiconducting material you was chosen. Okay, when you are providing required amount of energy to the valence band electron, it will be start moving. It will be start moving from valence band to conduction band. Even these things also we was discussed in the prerequisite only. In a semiconductor, the outermost layer, what are the valence electrons are there? That valence electron energy we are classified into two types. The first set of an energy, it is using for only rotating in the same axis. It is using only rotating in the same axis. The second set of an energy, it will be utilizing for doing or performing the valency stabilization work. Valency stabilization work. Only this two kind of an job your valence electron, it will be doing in a valence band. This two job, it will be performed by the valence electron in the valence shell. When you are going to change the temperature behind that, and behind that, when you are trying to give the energy to those electron, now which electron it will get the additional energy ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲಿ, more than valency stabilization work, more than valency stabilization work. That type of an electron no longer it want to stay in the valence band, it will be coming out of the valence band, it will be coming out of the valence band, and finally it will move to the conduction. That only we are referred as an electron, free electron or conduction electron, free electron or conduction electron. Okay, the electron you have separated from the valence band. Okay, that's fine. Why, what is the necessity for separating the electron from valence band to conduction? That I will give the answer. Actually, exactly I wanted to discuss only that part in ED subject actually. Correct? The remaining things you people already are aware. Okay, so once the electron is coming out of the valence band, what is created in the valence band? Hole it will be created. Correct? So ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು hole na, actually hole means what? It's a vacancy. There is no physical element over there, physical charge over there. Correct? So it's a vacancy, it is a space, empty space. Correct? So that empty space always attract the electron to electron recombination. Always it will be attract the electron to do a electron recombination work. ಸೊ ಹೆನ್ಸ್ ಈಗ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೋಲ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಪವರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅನ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. Now your vacancy, yeah, positive. Because of that cavity, that free space, it attracting the electron to form electron recombination work. Correct? So hence we are assuming maybe that cavity it have a positive charge. Hence only it will be attracting the electron. Hence it will be attracting the electron. Okay. So in such a way that the electron hole pair it will be generated. The electron hole pair it will be generated. If you want, please, once you go through this statement what I have written here, but you people already know this information, but anyway, just for recollecting, I am putting these two slides: electron one separate slide, hole one separate slide. Once you go through quickly, very quickly, the electron charge value, please keep in your mind while doing the problem, it will be helpful for us. 1.602176634 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. Okay, and electron mass, just check it out, 9.1093 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg. 10 to the power of minus 31 kg, it will be very small. 1 divided by 1836 of the mass of the proton. Mass of the proton, it will be very small, massless. Finally we called as a massless. Okay, so this information for electron, the same way for hole. Just once you go through this, in physics, a hole is an electric charge carrier with a positive charge, equal in magnitude but opposite in polarity to the charge of the electron. Okay, opposite polarity means electron it having a negative charge, hole it having the positive charge. Holes and electron are the two type of charge carrier responsible for current in semiconducting material. Both type of an charge carrier it will be constitute a current in the semiconducting material. Even hole current is also existing and electron current is also existing. In which type of an semiconducting you was chosen, it may be a p type or it may be a n type. Which are the majority charge carrier? Based on that we are going to take hole current as well as the electron current for our further analysis purpose in a circuit. Okay, the same way the hole is a absence, just check it out here, the hole is a absence of an electron in a particular place in an atom, although it is not a physical particle in the same sense as an electron. Okay, please don't forget this point. Although it is not a physical particle in the same sense as an electron, a hole can be passed from atom to atom in a semiconducting material. If the hole is not moving from one atom to another, obviously there is no hole current, it will be existing in the semiconducting material. How the hole current it will be initiated and how the electron current it will be initiated, what are the conventional direction of those, and which it will be moving opposite direction to the electric field, that we will discuss in the coming topics. It will be there in your syllabus, don't worry, I will discuss very detailedly about that along with the supporting diagrams and all. Okay, so this is all the information about the electrons as well as the holes. Now coming to the, once again we will go back to the electron hole pair generation. Electron hole pair generation, how the electron hole pair it will be generated in the semiconducting material. Just check it out. Initially your semiconducting material, you can take any type of semiconducting, it may be indirect or direct. So here you need not bother about it is a direct or indirect and all, you can choose any. You can choose any semiconducting material. That semiconducting material having a 3 band, one is valence, the second one is the conduction. In between the valence and conduction there is a gap. There is a gap. Generally that gap you called as an EG. Generally that gap you called as an EG. Okay, so when you are changing the temperature from 0 degrees Celsius to 300 degrees Celsius, 0 degrees Celsius to 300 degree Celsius, sorry, 300 degree Kelvin, 300 degree Kelvin or 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, so few electron it will be start moving from valence band to conduction band. Just check it out. I mean, this electron it will be moving from valence band to conduction. That particular place only it will be vacant now. Just see the vacancy of the electron in the conduction in the valence band, and just check it out how they are occupying the space in the conduction band. Okay, so one electron it will be coming out from the valence band, one hole it will be created in the valence band. One hole will be created in the valence and one electron it will be appeared in the conduction, in such a way that while changing the temperature we can increase or we can decrease the concentration of electron hole pair. We can decrease or increase the concentration of electron hole pair. The capital EHP we are using for designating the electron hole pair. Okay, so you can check this diagram also, little more meaningful compared to the first. Can you tell me any what is the difference between the picture 1 and picture 2? Both diagrams it will be gives the same meaning, but one slight modification is there. Picture 1 to picture 2. Anyone, can you tell me?
Minimum band of valency.
Yeah, just check it out. So here the vacancy as well as the electron just have taken only those electron are present in the first layer. Those electron are there in the first layer of the valency band. Just check it out. For this particular electron, for shifting to this particular position, how much energy we needed to provide, that we got to know that. Generally ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ, ನಾವೇನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ, for a silicon the energy gap it will be 1.2 electron volt ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ. If you provide 1.2 electron volt, all the electron it will be moving from valence band to conduction band ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ normally, correct? But correct, in the actual picture that is not true, correct? All the electron is not moving, only few electron. Those electron, what are the electron it will be staying in the upper layer of the valence band, only those electron it will be moving to conduction band. But what about the second layer electron, what about the third layer electron, what about the fourth layer electron in the valence band? Those electron is also enough with 1.2 electron volt energy for crossing this barrier. Just differentiate this red colored line and blue color line. Red color line and blue color line. This red color line and blue color line, what it indicates? This is the minimum energy gap. This is the minimum energy gap. For example, for the silicon, 1.2 electron volt only for crossing the upper layer of the electron to lower layer of the conduction band. But second layer or third layer of the electron present in the valence band shifted to the second layer or third upper layer of the conduction. How much energy we need to provide? It's sufficient with 1.2 or we need to provide more than that? Yeah, tell me, Priyanka or
More, sir.
more. The only that information. ಅದು ತುಂಬಾ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ. Red color line and blue color line. The blue color line length is high. The blue color line length is high means what? It required, I mean, for shifting this particular electron to this particular place, we needed to provide more than 1.2 electron volt ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ತುಂಬಾ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Even valence band, all the electron, it will be distributed in this fashion: first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer. Because of, as we told, in the what are the electron, it will be there in the valence band. That valence electron energy is also, it will be redistributing. Correct. So what are the layer, it will be there in the upper layer in the valency band, it having a more energy. It having a more energy than the second layer, than the third layer, than the fourth layer. Correct. So compared to first layer and fourth layer, the fourth layer electron having the lesser energy compared to the first layer. For crossing, for shifting the fourth layer electron to the conduction band, obviously we needed to provide more energy to compare to the first layer of the electron, compared to the first layer of the electron, in such a way that while changing the thermal energy or while changing the temperature of the room, we are initiating or we are generating the electron hole pair in the semiconductor. Electron hole pair in the semiconductor. This is the one criteria, how the electron hole pair it will be generated. Now my next question is, what is the necessity for removing few electron from the valency band? What is the necessity for removing few electrons from the valency band? Removing the valency band andre artha eno? We need to provide energy and shift it to the conduction band anta artha aste. What is the necessity? What is the reason behind that? Anyone, can you tell me?
Charge carriers ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ sir?
Why we require charge carriers? That only I am asking. What is the intention to remove some of the electron from the valency band?
ಅದು current
To conduct
ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
To conduct a current. Correct. Otherwise what it will be happen? All the electron, it will be there in the valency. Initially in the conduction band it will be zero. The electron presence, it will be zero. Correct. At the same time, just check it out, valency band full of electrons, there is no holes at all at 0 degrees Celsius. At 0 degrees Celsius there is no holes at all. Correct. All are electron. Correct. What is the net charge? What is the net charge in the valency band electron? Anyone, will you tell me what is the net charge, or what is the net movement, or what is the net velocity of the electron? Anyone? In the valence band at 0 degree Kelvin, or net current easily? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋ ತರ.
0 sir.
It will be zero. It will be zero. Correct. So for conduction ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಹೋಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು, it should be constitute some current. Then only we can conduct something else, right? Or then only when the current it will be passing in that particular semiconductor, then only it will be start performing. It may be a diode, or it may be a transistor, or it may be your LED, whatever it may be. When the current it will be flowing through that, then only it will be start performing. Then only it will give a required applications to us. Correct. So initially at 0 degree Kelvin, the net current it will be zero in the valency band. Correct. So how the current it will be constituted? What is the intention for removing a one electron from the valency band? Correct. So that how we are going to represent mathematically, and how we are going to discuss the same concept with the EK diagram. Okay, so these things we will discuss in the next class. Because of it will take a time, minimum 1 hour of time we require for discussing these three things. Okay, so tomorrow we will discuss. Okay, so any doubt in the today's class?
ಸರ್ ಇವಾಗಲೇ ಅದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ನ ಜಂಪ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಸರ್?
ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೇಳಮ್ಮ?
ಇವಾಗಲೇ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್, ವೇಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಂದ ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಜಂಪ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ, ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
Okay, so ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ I will use this diagram. Okay, so now just check it out here. This is one electron and this is one electron. This electron we called as an jth electron, and this electron we called as an j dash electron. J electron and j dash electron. This j electron, it will be moving like this with an velocity of vj. With an velocity of vj. The same j dash also, j dash electron is also, it will be start moving with a velocity of minus vj. With a velocity of minus vj. I have taken only 2 electrons in the valency band. Okay, so now what is the total net velocity of these 2 electrons in the valence band?
GM mana J dash.
J dash. J dash velocity, it will be plus Vj. Sorry, J velocity, it will be plus Vj. J dash electron velocity will be minus Vj. It will be minus Vj. I hope you people are aware about the Pauli exclusion principle. Pauli exclusion principle. Okay, in the valence band, one electron, it will be moving in a positive half spin. The another electron, it will be moving in a negative half spin. Positive half spin and negative half spin as per the Pauli exclusion principle, what we was discussed in the prerequisite class. Based on that Pauli exclusion principle, the net velocity of the charge carrier in the valence band, it will be equal to 0. It will be equal to 0, correct? So in that situation, it not constitute any current there, correct? For generating the current, it may be a whole current or it may be an electron current. We need to remove few electron from the valency band. We needed to remove few electron from the valency band. If you remove a few electron from the valency, how the current density it will be, I mean, what is the value of that we will discuss along with the mathematical equations in the next class.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions?